We are live, I believe. Are we live? I never know if we're live until people have joined and start saying hello. So far, no people watching, but I'm pretty sure it's on a delay. Oh no, I am live now. There you go. The time restarted. Are we live? Bang. There you go. Hello, Bailey Head. Bailey Head. What a great name. 3 people in. Here we go. FMM UK. Hello. Can you see and hear me clearly? Is my first question. Evening, big fella. Chris Carey, hello, mate. Paul McGlone, hello. Charlie, hello, mate. You all right? KP, my boy's back in. Can you all hear me nice and clearly? Good evening. Ryan Duggan, hello. Sparky1. My eyesight seems to have got better all of a sudden. 54 people watching. Hello, boys and girls. As always, we'll do a little bit of a show. And then I'll go to the questions. But there's not loads to talk about. Obviously, we're just coming off the back of an international break. Fuck me, international break shit, innit? It's absolutely shit. I text my mate Thursday and said, "You going pub tomorrow to watch England? To watch the football?" He said, "What football?" I said, "England." He said, "No, it's 80 minutes gone, mate. We're 6-0 up. It's tonight." Didn't even know it was on. No interest. Although I did thoroughly enjoy my time at the World Cup, which was fantastic. 80 people watching. And proper football is back this weekend. And boom. Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lives Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by Big Kev Toomey, the absolute legend. And he's a Millwall fan, just like every single one of our other sponsors that you can find in the links to the description below. 100 people, 104 and rising. Good evening, boys and girls. Happy Monday. I will try and keep pumping these out every Monday from now on, if I can. As I've said that, I've just realised, obviously, there was an international break, so I didn't have to do a post-match analysis on a Monday. But I'm going to start trying to up the ante on the videos, start producing more videos. It's all free, by the way. It's not from behind the paywall. That is Patreon. If you haven't joined yet, feel free to join, because if you want some extra bonus content, we're going to start producing a podcast, starting with going through all the boys that work on Lions TV, one-on-one podcasts for two hours long, maybe. But other than that, you'll always get these free. Everything else is going to be free. First shout out to Maxie and Zach, my boys that sit just in, not my boys, my mate Dale's boys that sit just in front of me in the kitchen are up. I shout out to you boys. They've joined the Patreon train. And Dale just sent me a good picture actually of Zach wearing the No One Likes His tracksuit and Bart Bolkowski's glove, fucking giant foam hand. If you see it on their Instagram page. So yeah, here we go. We are 3 minutes in. As I said, there's not loads and loads to talk about. Not loads and loads, but what I am going to talk about is just the general consensus of what we are like as a race, and definitely. It's definitely the British. My mate Tommy, shout out to Tommy Morgan, who kindly give us a lift to Reading. And he said to me, "God, when you get shit and that," like he said, "What's up with these people?" I said, "It's all part and parcel of it, mate." But he said, it's just the English, mate. It's just English people in general. We just fucking love to moan, don't we? We love to moan about anything we can lay our hands to moan about. And social media, Twitter especially, is a vile place, but a hotbed for that. And what's happened in the last week, first of all, News at Den put a story out. Listen, I'm not knocking News at Den. News at Den's brilliant. Been a brilliant Millwall outlet for a long, long time. I really enjoy it. But what's happened is there's Millwall news. Bart Bolkowski, potentially he's only on loan at Millwall, but if someone wants to buy him in the transfer window, they can. So news. I was having a few days off last week after the Cholton and all the content, all the Anna and the Anorak. I always need a few days off. So I was having a rest, and on the Lions TV group chat, the boys are going at it, talking about what's going on with Bart? Oh, he could leave, and then someone else said it's bollocks. We got to buy him, and I was wasn't really getting involved. I was just sort of watching the messages come through. Then I see News at Den cover it, and then I thought, I'm ready to do a few videos now. So I thought I ain't put a video out all week. On Friday, I'll put a video out, and I'll say, give my opinion on the things surrounding Bolkowski. So that went out, and obviously a lot of people liked the video, loved the video. Thanks, I appreciate it, and the nice comments. I tried to do a little bit of extra editing on that and change the way I did it a little bit, just to try and keep it entertaining for you, and hopefully you want to keep watching it. And listen, you'll always get good comments, and for every good 10 ones you get, you'll get one bad. If that reverses, then you've got to start looking at yourself and what sort of content you're putting out. So I just had my opinion on it. As I said, news at the end and run with the story, rightly so. It's Millwall, newsworthy. We all want to discuss things. That's why you're here now. That's why I'm here, sat this side of the camera, because we all want to talk Millwall. It's good. It's, as I said before, you'll watch Carragher and Gary Neville, who are fucking brilliant, by the way, especially Neville. And I hated that fucker as a player. Hated him. And when he went to be a pundit, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But I love it. It's brilliant. And that's why we love football. We love the 90 minutes of football. But first and foremost, we like the 2 hours before. And then once the football's done, we like the 2 hours after. We all like to talk about it. We all like to analyse it. So I have given myself, obviously, an outlet with Lions TV where I enjoy to give my points across. And I put my point across about Bulkowski, and I said a lot of people really enjoyed the video, and you'll always get some bad comments. Some people come to me, message me saying, why are you spouting this shit about? Why are you spouting this shit about? You're supposed to be a fan. Why are you stirring this shit? It's madness. Lions TV is called Lions TV. What Lions TV actually is an outlet for fans to have their voice, and it's a Millwall news channel. That was the Millwall news. I just reported the Millwall news. Today, similar thing. Joe O'Mara, a grass shot on Instagram earlier, Joe. Joe O'Mara posts on the Millwall group chat a 10-second clip of Neil Harris saying what he said. And I can't actually remember what he said, so I'm going to go back to the comments now. Sorry, I'm going to go back to my phone now, and we'll get it up. So Neil Harris, obviously, Cardiff manager now. Fair play to him, Millwall legend as a player, as I said, as a manager. And despite those two things, the third thing that he did was better than any of that. Was, no beer, mate, tonight, no. Was he walked away exactly the right time. Brilliant. Fucking superb. Love the man. Absolute Millwall legend. Can't thank him enough for everything he done. You know, this lot like helped me build the channel. It gave me an outlet. I jumped on the channel at exactly the right time when Harris has given us some unbelievable memories as a player and as a manager. But obviously, he's done his first Cardiff press conference, and he said this.
No disrespect to Millwall, it's a wonderful club. I've come from a club that's slightly different to the level Cardiff's at.
So Neil Harris said in his first press conference, I've come from Millwall, who are a wonderful club. And then he hesitated because he was trying to say what he wanted to say and praise Cardiff in the right way he should, as now he's their manager, without being too disrespectful to Millwall. And he said, I don't feel Millwall, are a different level to Cardiff. So I've looked at it. I've watched it. Obviously, again, it divides opinion. Even on the group chat, a couple of boys have gone, fuck him. A couple of other boys have gone, well, it's fair enough. And I've looked at it and I've watched it back and I thought, okay. So now I'm thinking, I'm undecided on it. By the way, I'm now decided on it. He can't do any more than that. He's done his time at Millwall. He served us fantastically. He's moved on to Cardiff. And for me, he said nothing wrong there. But that's just my opinion. I've put it out and said, is it, my actual post was, is he right? Question mark, a little bit controversial, which it is. It's controversial. Whether you like it or not, it sparks controversy. Controversial means, who agrees with it, who doesn't, it's going to spark a little bit of interest. And then people start jumping on it again. Why are you fucking having a pop here? But people are either thick or just toxic. And I honestly, genuinely feel for those people who have got nothing better to do with their life than just hang around on social media and just be horrible fuckers. I hang around on social media a lot, but it's now my job, which I make a living out of. #pay me. So, yeah, I've put that out there because I want to see what you all think. Some people, did you think it was harsh? Didn't you think it was harsh? And now I'll ask the question again. If you've seen that clip that I've put out on social media today, Neil Harris's comments, 10 seconds out of his interview. So bear in mind, he's in a press conference now as the Cardiff manager. Gives a very good interview, as he always does, speaks very well. And he says, Millwall, fantastic club, but no disrespect to them, and they're a wonderful club. Cardiff are at a different sort of level. And I'll be honest, I think he was absolutely spot on. In my opinion, and again, you may not agree with me. You may agree with me. Cardiff, someone summed up well, to be fair, on Instagram. They said, Cardiff are a club that bounce between the Prem and the Champ, and we are a club that bounce between the Championship and League One. Hopefully now we can become established in League One, but we are established in League One. League One? Championship. Remain established in the Championship. So I don't think Harris was wrong, but just because I posted it and said, a bit controversial, doesn't mean I'm slagging him off. People go, leave him alone. Some bloke actually said, you've done enough over the last 3 years. And from what I'll take from that, and from the people who have wasted 4 years of their life trolling me, I actually take that as a compliment, that they think I'm worth wasting their time and they see me as the voice that they've got to try and strike down. So, yeah, listen, the Bulkowski thing and the Neil Harris thing, it's Millwall news. Lions TV is a Millwall news channel. So I'm going to report the Millwall news. One bloke said, stick to your job. Well, that was exactly my job, mate. I report the Millwall news. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, or it causes controversy. If something comes up and it's Millwall worthy, I will report it. Yes, I'm now making a living out of this, and I'm not trying to. Again, people said to me about the Bulkowski thing. He's just doing it. It's just scaremongering to try and get views. And I said it before, and I say it again. If I wanted just to get views on this channel, my God, I could absolutely fucking bury a few people. Bury a few people for the things that I know, which I would never fucking divulge on this channel. If I wanted to bury a few people around Millwall, I could, trust me. But I don't do it for views. I do it because I'm genuinely interested in giving my opinions on the club and the surroundings and the situations that we're in. And I genuinely am interested to see, what I was undecided with Harris thing. So I'm not sure about that. I'll put that out and see what you all think. It's not me having a pop at anyone. It's just me doing what the guy said on Instagram is my job. And that's my job now, to report the Millwall news. So just some people are just like fucking backwards, dopey, or just so fucking bitter and twisted. It's just, I dread to think what they're doing in their little dark, dingy room, like eating behind a phone. I've never understood it. Twitter, I never went on Twitter ever. As I said, before I started this channel, I used to go Millwall, where I do interviews, where I'm every week, by the way, absolutely every single week. I'd go in the back gate, go and watch the game, and I'd walk out. I didn't get involved. I just love watching the team. I was younger then. I had a good social life. I was a bit thinner. I had a bit more hair, a few less bags under my eyes. I'd go to the game, then I'd be straight out on the piss, if I'm honest. So I never got involved in social media. I never got involved in, the goings on of the club. I used to turn up, watch the team, loved it. I didn't even know, I could tell you who the chairman was, but I couldn't tell you who the fucking backroom staff was or any of that. I just turned up, loved to watch the team, then bang, went on a piss after, job done. So when I've stepped into this now, this world of, and as my mate Tommy said, it's a very British thing to just love to fucking moan and knock things down, but just try and understand. Look, if someone goes to me, Lions TV, you're a fat prick and your channel is shit, that's fine. That's fair enough. If that's what you think. But like Coronation Street, if I don't like something, I just don't watch it. But when these people think I'm deliberately trying to dig out Harris and deliberately trying to cause trouble with a Bulkowski thing, you're completely misunderstanding what the world's about. As I said for the final time, this is a Millwall news channel, and I share the Millwall news. So, and a lot of time I share it so we can all have a chat about it. That's why 183 people are now sitting here watching me talk shit, because I like to think I know what I'm talking about. But we can have a difference of opinions. You could not agree with me on something. I could not agree. It's the beauty of it. It's a wonderful sport. And I said to my mate last night, Joe Wakeson, my man Joe Wakeson, on the phone last night. What an unbelievable feeling, because there was no Millwall this week, and obviously I managed my boys' team Sunday, and he went to watch his boy play, and we just sat on the phone last night. It's just what a feeling football can give you. If you could bottle that and sell it, you'd be a rich man. It's just unbelievable. It's just great, and the difference of opinions helps that. It's healthy. It's good. It's healthy to a point, unless weirdos start getting weird, and then it just gets weird. But yeah, listen, Bulkowski, let's go back to that one. Bartosz Bulkowski, I put a video out on that. If you saw it, I'm not sure, but excuse me. Yeah, Bulkowski, we got to buy him. And the ironic thing is, we didn't buy him because we was worried about. I believe it to be a previous knee injury that flagged up in the medical. He obviously wears 2 knee supports. And listen, I'm a big fan of Bart. Fantastic shot stopper. One of the best shot stoppers I've ever seen. Some of the saves he's made this season have been outrageous. He does worry me with the ball at his feet at times. But as I said, primarily, I'd rather have a goalkeeper who can save the ball. That's his first job for me. Distribution and everything else comes after that. We didn't buy him because we was worried, obviously, about the medical. But ironically, now he is the only fit first-team goalkeeper at the club, because Luke Steele's got a finger injury, and Frank Fielding not really been. I've not really seen a lot of updates on Frank Fielding. So if anyone could point me in the direction of an update on that, it would be great. I heard he was out to at least March. I believe Luke Steele's loan is until January, I think. So someone might be able to help me on that and correct it. Mill KP, Frank Fielding's back in January. Okay, so there you go. So So yeah, for me, someone's put his name is pronounced Bialkowski. Oh, fuck, mate. It took me long enough to learn to fucking say Bialkowski, mate. Give me a yard. So Bartosz Bialkowski, the most fucking talked about player at Millwall ever, and he ended up joining him. He's on loan. I love him. I think he's great. You know, he's vocal on social media. I've said all that in the video that went out on Lions TV on Friday. But yeah, he wears 2 knee supports. You can see that. The way he travels, the way he moves around, it doesn't look the most mobile. So maybe there is an underlying issue, but I think the club needs to make a decision now and strike while the iron is hot. Having said that, no disrespect to our club. I'm going to do a Neil Harris here. No disrespect to our club, but it's not as if he's playing in goal for Leeds or for West Brom and he's setting the world alight and people might come in and buy him. I don't really think anyone else is going to realistically buy him. So I think we should be safe on that one. So, you know, again, going back to me putting that video out, people saying I did it for views. If I'm getting 500,000 views a video, then believe me, I will fucking put a video out every 20 seconds because I want the views and the money. But 3,000 views, which that VT is currently running at, mate, honestly. Funny enough, Alan the Anorak said, how many views will you get for 10,000 views? My most viewed video ever is No One Likes Us and Hey Jude before the Leicester game. It's just short of 200,000 views, and that video has got me $70, I think. So you can imagine a 2,000-3,000 video, you're talking 50 cents. It's not even pound, is it? So no, I'm not that hard up for dope. That's actually a fucking lie. I'm skinned. But anyway, that would teach me to go down the pub every Sunday, wouldn't it? But yeah, Bialkowski, just try and sign him. Just try and sign him now, surely. It's just a worry that's hanging over us now. Even if nothing comes of it, it's just a man. It's just a matter that's going to hang over us. So although he may not go back to Ipswich, well, he will go back to Ipswich at the end of the season unless we buy him. The worry for me is, you know, someone else could come sniffing. Let's just put that to bed. Let's just get him signed early doors. Obviously, Neil Harris did bring him in, and Gary Rowett is now our manager. So he will obviously maybe have other players in mind that he'd like to bring in. He may have already done a few deals behind closed doors, and it could end up not being the one Bialkowski. But I think, you know, from what he's seen of Bart, from him so far, Bart, the gaffer, why wouldn't you want to sign him? So I hope he does. Moving swiftly on, nicely plugged, to the Patreon page. So I offered it out to the members of our Patreon page to get their questions in first. Don't worry, I'll still answer your others as well. But it's just the way I'm doing it these days, boys and girls. As I said, if you want to join the Patreon, fantastic. If you don't want to join the Patreon, fantastic. There's stuff that's going to be given away. I've got to try and find my messages now. There'll be tickets given away. It'll be worth your while joining it for £2.50 a month, trust me. And there's going to be extra podcasts. The new podcast is going to be called Roaring Lion. We're going to start filming this Wednesday, and I'm going to get guests in. And I'm going to go through all the Lions TV boys first off. And then other people, if they want to come on it, I'll do a podcast with you, a one-on-one podcast going through your whole Millwall lifetime, your whole Millwall memories, you know, your old journey into why you're a Millwall fan. You went with your dad, the teams that you watched growing up, you know, the Millwall teams, you watched the Millwall players, and we'll bring it right up to present day. And we're going to go through each of the Lions TV boys one by one. I think Pete O'Meara will be first up. That'll be fucking brilliant. Obviously, I won't tell you his story, but Pete, obviously a Millwall fan, moved to the dark side, unfortunately. Not sure when that was. One of the boys might be helping me out. And obviously had 3 boys that are all Millwall fans. So the Millwall memories they've got, some of them are fucking brilliant. The one at Bradford away, I won't spoil it, but Bradford away and Kieran being a ball boy at the time, storming out and stuff like that, which he still does, Kieran, quite a lot. He loves to storm out. Sometimes at the end, I'll go to the... we'll all be there for interviews. I'll be like, where the fuck's Kieran? He said, I fucking stormed out 10 minutes to go fuming. So one of our Patreon members, and I think he might be a bit of a European member because your name is Ben De Grucci. I hope I've got that right, mate. Your question was, do you think Gary Rowett's greater success as a championship manager will mean better connections with which to make better signings in the transfer window than Neil Harris did? It's a good question, mate. And the answer is this. Listen, again, not digging Neil Harris out. Fantastic. I've said it already. I've said it a million times. I ain't going to keep saying it. The one thing, the one of his downsides of Neil Harris as a Millwall manager is that he didn't have, I don't think he had the greatest connections. And I'm judging that on the loan signings that King Kenny used to get in for us, because Jacket was very well respected, very well travelled manager, and he would get in the likes of I covered it earlier on Instagram Live. Sorry if he was on that, then you're going to get bored of it twice. But we what was I saying? Forgot what I was fucking saying. Oh yes, Neil Harris's contacts. King Kenny had great contacts. King Kenny got us in Ryan Mason, Andros Townsend, Harry Kane, Jason Puncheon, some great loans in, and Harris didn't really have that sway about him as a manager. I don't know why. Maybe because he was fresh to, new into the game, first managerial job. He didn't build up his contacts just yet. Obviously now going to Cardiff, he's got contacts previously, and he may well come on to and approach some Millwall players, which I'll get into shortly. But yeah, King Kenny had fantastic contacts. And to answer Ben's question, I think that Rowett will have better contacts than Neil Harris did, and I'll be interested to see a player that's played and managed his entire career at a good level in and around the Midlands, where there is a lot of clubs. I would say that it will be very interesting to see, Ben, and I think that, yes, Rowett will have better connections, and his previous, as you said, his previous experiences as a Championship manager will help him in good, hold him in good stead to get those connections in. Obviously, when Gary Rowett, he did it a few ways, Rowett. He was obviously at Burton, and he sort of managed to manage the side that he had there without making too many changes, which he might have to do at Millwall. He managed them into a good position. Birmingham, I don't really know about too many signings he made. Obviously, he was sacked there due to the board wanting Gianfranco Zola. But when he went to Derby, he did exactly what I think he's going to do now at Millwall, which is get some decent experience, loan signings in. He went obviously to non-playing Prem players, I would say, Huddleston, people like that. I don't know how he'll do it this time, because I think he'll have a job, again, no disrespect to Millwall. I think he'll have a job convincing aging Premiership players to come to Millwall. But it will be interesting to see who he brings in. I think he will bring some good players in. First things first, if there's money to spend, I think he's going to get a left back in. A left back, a centre midfielder, and a centre forward. And I think we're fine. I think we're fine anyway this year. I really do. And that, again, it's once again credit to Neil Harris for walking away when he did, because the good work, the fantastic foundations that he built, he walked away at the right time. And Rowett now comes in, and I think our home form alone, obviously our away form's a worry, our home form alone will carry us through till the end of the season. Very strong at home, not so strong away. But I think, people ask me, what's impressed you most about Rowett? And listen, it's been 3 games, 1-2 at home, lost 1 away. The results pattern hasn't really changed. Win your home games, lose your away games. That's how it's always been, especially in the Championship for the last couple of seasons, until we beat Leeds that time and went on a 17-game unbeaten run. But we always struggle to get off the mark away from home every year. So although the results haven't really changed, it's only been 3. The results pattern haven't changed. It's only been 3 games. I have been very impressed with 2 things so far. Rowett's desire to retain the ball, which I think will help, especially Sean Williams. It will help him, because that he's the sort of player that will be pivotal in that role. And I'll cue the hate for that comment right there on the comments. Where is it? There. And also, what really impressed me was Saturday against Charlton, which I haven't covered in the post-match, but my head was fucking frazzled, man. After all that Alan the Anorak content, after all the videos, the fan cams that went out, it was just constant. I was absolutely done by last Sunday night. I was finished. I actually woke up at 4:30 Monday afternoon. How bad's that to actually admit that, but I have done it. The second thing I really like about Rowett is Neil Harris again, and I keep going back to him, but listen, it's always going to happen, because since I've been doing the channel, Harris was always the manager. Now Rowett's the manager. I've only got Harris to compare it to with you on the videos. And also, with Harris being an ex-player of ours, it's always going to flag up, unfortunately. It's always going to be Millwall news, whether you like it or not. But the second thing that I really liked about Rowett is, Harris would make like-for-like substitution. It would be 1-0 down or 1-0 up. He'd still go left back for left back or right mid for right mid, 20 minutes to go. It was the same substitutions. Rowett saw something he didn't like. He knew this game was winnable. He believed in his players. He put Mahoney on, made a little difference. And then when he puts on Matt Smith and Aidan O'Brien, I said to Mini-Me, what the fuck has he put these pair of clowns on for? Just take a point now, because let's have it right. The Anoraks did have us on the back foot, and the further it went on, the more confident they got, the more possession they had, and it did look like if anyone was going to nick it, it was going to be them. But he's thrown the two forwards on, and Charlton, they've got no arsehole, have they? That's been proved. So a very simple goal, by the way. Jeb Wallace great corner. Matt Smith sort of wasn't really challenged. He's 6'7", by the way. So is Jake Cooper. And he just sort of gets across the defender, heads it into the corner. But I love that about Rowett. We wouldn't have won that game under Neil Harris. And that's no disrespect to Harris again. But he wouldn't have made those subs. He wouldn't have thought, you know what, fuck this, let's go for the win. We can win this. Because I'll be honest, looking at it, I didn't see how we could win that 10 minutes to go. My blue seat in the kitchen upper was turning brown because I was thinking, I've buried these fuckers. I've absolutely buried them all week. And now it's just going to come back to bite me in the arse. But luckily it didn't. And I like that about Rowett. And I think now going into Swansea, which there'll be a pre-match prediction out for sort of Thursday, I don't think... it hasn't worked for us at Reading. And again, I said on my Instagram earlier, so if you've got to listen to it twice, sorry. I think that Reading were a good side. They were effective and they were good in front of goal. They were very effective in the final third. It hasn't worked at Reading. So I think you may, I don't think Rowett will go, okay. Under Harris, it could have been, fuck, we've lost the way again. What are we going to do next week, Dave? Hang on, Dave checks the earpiece. Go long ball again. Yeah, fuck it, 4-4-2, long ball. I don't think Rowett's happy with that. Rowett will look at that, what's happened at Reading, and I think he'll look to change something. And I think you could see something new from him. So it's good. He is a good manager. Again, people will point back to, and I understand that this is the nature of the beast and the name of the game. You can always go back to one of my old videos, and I can't deny I've said something. So when I put the video out saying Gary Rowett was my least wanted manager, that was of the three that people were touting. Barrett, that was a bad call from me because he proved he was too much in the Neil Harris mindset, and the players were still under Neil Harris's mindset. And the other one I would have preferred was Gareth Ainsworth. There's nothing against Rowett. Wickham currently top of the league, absolutely flying. So, but listen, we got Rowett, and it was never Rowett's managerial credentials for me that was the question. It was his longevity as a manager. Will he last out? Will he see the course? If he does well, other clubs could come sniffing. But I think he's learned a lot from his time at Stoke. He said 9 months out of the game has helped that, and hopefully now, I think he would have gone to the board and got assurances, and I think that he would. I think he's ambitious, which is good, but I just hope that we don't do too well when someone comes calling, because if they do, I think he'll be gone at the first opportunity. But having said that, Gary the Gaffer, yeah, I like him, what I'm seeing at the minute. And again, at the minute, he can only change tactics. He can't change clientele and players. So we'll be very, very interested to see what happens in January. When I'll be 40 years old, by the way, in January. Right. Shall I put my glasses on, or shall I just lean in a bit? Why don't I just lean in a bit? Right. Questions. Any held for review? Could be abuse. To say? No, so there's some held for abuse, but not really abuse for me. Just good stuff. Someone just said Neil Harris is a traitor. That's what I'm saying, man. What is fucking wrong with some people? Jesus Christ. Listen, they won't always agree with Neil Harris's tactics. They didn't always agree with him, the things he said and the things he did. But fuck me, a traitor. What is wrong with people? James Beckwith. Yes, mate. Hello. Connor King. Hello. Oh, Connor. Sorry, mate. I just realised that was. Charlie. Anderson. My mate down the road and travelling partner to some away games says we've only got 480 go Swansea, that poor. Are you saying we've only sold 480 tickets? I think if that's true, Charlie, it's only Monday, mate. So we still got. I haven't got my tickets yet, but I will be going. I know the O'Maras are all going, so there should be some decent content out, hopefully for you. 480 sold so far. It's not bad. Look, let's have it right. And again, cue the fucking hate. Everyone goes, Millwall fans of this, Millwall fans of that. And when it's rocking in there, mate, at the Den, again, pre-match to Charlton, it was brilliant. But our away following isn't always great, right? We don't take that many numbers away. It's a fact. You only got to look at the stats. So 480 sold on a Monday. It's not bad. I imagine we'll take around 700 up to Swansea. I think that's about the right numbers. Would that increase if we was flying away from home and struggling to win always away from home? This hoodoo that seems to hang over us? Yeah, possibly. Swansea's a long way away, though, isn't it? I've actually never been to the Liberty Stadium. It's probably because I've been going a year. But I've been to the Vetch, but I've never been to Liberty Stadium. And I've also been to, what was Stokes' old ground? Can't remember what it's called. But I've been there, not been to the Bet365, is their stadium called? So I will be looking to accomplish both of those this year. I reckon around 700 of us will travel to Swansea on Saturday. just before Christmas, mate, as well. It's dull, isn't it? It can be expensive work, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's about right. Danny Ravel, hello, geezer. Chazza Richardson, I saw your comment, Char, earlier on Facebook saying I've listened to this geezer talk shit for the last 2 years. It did make me laugh. Harris out. Ross Monaghan just says Cardiff, question mark. I've just covered all that around Cardiff and Harris. All I didn't mention was obviously Cardiff away Boxing Day, sort of written in the stars. That'll be our first away win, won't it? Lewis Robinson, hello. Dragon Kovacic. What's a fucking name that is? Dragon Kovacic. Considering changing my name by default to Dragon. Dragon Goodwin. HBF. Hello, mate. That is Harry Packham. Watched your video the other day, mate. Good video, by the way. Harry Packham, another young Millwall fan having a go. I like him. He's got a little bit of swagger about him, mate. He's like, yeah, bruv, you're not... They don't say bruv. He's like, yeah, going down to Den, mate. Don't know whether that's a good impression, H, but H has got a good YouTube channel. Keep pumping more videos out, mate. I think you stop for a bit. HPF, Millwall is. HPF it is on YouTube. Give him a follow. And as always, my my young apprentices, my proteges, Keen YT and the Millwall Tube. Oh, how could I forget my boy, Millwall KP? We're at the Den, Jeff. I love it when he starts his videos like that. He's the best. Me and Mini-Me love a bit of Millwall KP. His real name is Kenneth Prawn. Charlie Richardson can't go Swansea because of a fucking family party. They get away with everything, mate, don't they? Families and kids are a pain in the arse. Right. Couldn't care less about England, says Alan Smith. Fucking used to be part of the coaching staff as well, didn't you? Millie Comley says, give us a free podcast to see how it is. Potentially. Listen, everything's still going to be free. It's just my camera, which by the way, I went to the pub yesterday. My video camera was still there from last Saturday against Charlton. It's all water's going. It's battered. I do need new equipment. So I'm only going to start charging for extra content, not the content you've all had that's had over 7 million views, by the way. Thanks for that. You'll all still get it free. It's not a drama. But if you want to help out Lions TV, poor old Lions TV, going down the pan. My radiators blew up earlier as well, so I'm sitting with an hoodie on. What did Harris say? I've covered that. No beer, Dan, says Dean Turner. No, mate, not today. You like the Superman haircut? Danny Ravel likes the Superman haircut. My hair is naturally curly. And for years, I've tried to do this and try and be cool with it. But I just finally realised I'm not cool. And I'm also receding. So what I did was... Shall I show you? No, I'm not even going to show you. Oh, fuck it, I'll show you. So I did this. Went this way, look. Look at that. So then I started changing the way my hair went, which was that way. And then that. And then, so now what I've realised is, just embrace the curl. Just go naturally. And it makes you look a little bit less receding. But I'll tell you, it won't be fucking long. People, I tell you what, the haters will love it when I go bald, won't they? Fucking arseholes. We'll let them have that one, though. Because it will be funny. A big fat bald geezer. It should be horrible, wouldn't it? I'll have to lose weight, probably, but no, busy. Charles Stoworthy, my friend in Amsterdam. How you doing, Charles? Thanks for tuning in, mate, as always. Gareth Gardner, how am I doing? I'm good, mate. Thank you. Robert Chobcob, Bob, one. What's the latest on Fielding? Last I heard, he was due back in January. I liked Frank Fielding. Again, he came from Bristol City. People were saying he's a good keeper, but his distribution is not very good. And as I said earlier, when I covered Bulkowski, distribution, not interested. As long as he ain't got a fucking set of poppadoms for wrist. Has Jordan Archer got a club, by the way, yet? Because I don't think he has. He's training at the wrong sort of places, isn't he? He's training at Aston Villa, training at Middlesbrough, training at Southend. And he wants to head down the road to Dartford, and he'll definitely get in there. But yeah, Fielding, I liked him in pre-season. I was happy with it. Great, looked like a good goalkeeper. Not the most prominent? Not the most prominent of figures. Not the most, looking the stereotypical shaped goalkeeper. He's quite short and stocky, but good goalkeeper. And I liked him, but he's popped his quad. And as I said on my Instagram earlier, I won't go into it. He had viral meningitis at Bristol City, and he come back from a long layout from viral meningitis. And I'm no fucking doctor, but that could be quite serious. And since coming back from the viral meningitis, he done his wrist straight away at Bristol City. Then when he recovered from that, he came to Millwall and he pops his quad. And the viral meningitis can have like a knock-on effect on your health. So I'm hoping that Frankie gets it sorted because I really liked him. And it was a real shame when the injury did happen. Northern Migration. Nice hoodie, mate. Where did you get it? So look, let's fucking put the cards on the table here. I've been doing this channel for 4 years for free, right? Yes, I've got a clothing range. No one likes this clothing, 1885. And yes, I've set up a Patreon page if you want to pay £2.50 a month. I'm trying not to keep mentioning those things, but I need to survive in the world. It's a business. People think I get what I get from YouTube. I don't get it. I could go back to roofing tomorrow and earn 4 or 5 times what I do out of YouTube comfortably. I had a fucking good life. I did have a good life as a roofer. I had a shit life because I fucking hated work. And you have to go work 5 days out of 7. But fuck me, I had a few quid. I was rich. Now I'm poor, and people won't believe that. I am fucking poor. So I try not to plug it all too much. But look, the clothing range is there. That's where my hoodie's from, mate. 1885. No one likes this clothing. The links are everywhere on there in social media. And it's currently 15% off in November for everything. So we try and do deals every month. It's just good for me to get people wearing it. If you have bought some of this stuff, by the way, and you want to take a photo of yourself wearing it, send it to me and I'll put it on our social media. I just want to get the word out there. It just helps the channel, doesn't it? Max Morris says he's going unless we put a bid in for him. I think you might mean Bolkowski. One other thing. Cardiff. Okay. One other thing we'll say about Cardiff. People, and because it's coming up there on the questions, people are saying, do you think Neil Harris will come in for our players? It's a strong possibility. Of course it is. He's a great admirer of the players that we've got because he bought them. He bought a lot of them. If he's going to come in for anyone, do you know what? It just popped into my head then. It just popped into my head. And I hadn't even thought of it until that point. I've got a sneaky suspicion. I know people might think this is funny. I think he might come in for Romeo. This just pops into my head because Marlon is by no means the finished article, especially defensively. But I think Neil Harris's tactics now are going to change from shut up shop and grab what you can on the break to excite inside going for promotion. It's going to happen. It's the level of expectancy at Cardiff. Pardon me. It's the level of expectancy at Cardiff. So if anyone I think you could see him come in for would be Romeo, Cooper or Jed. If he came in for Romeo or Jed and offered good money for either, as in 5 million plus for Jed, I'd fucking bite his hand off and take it. No disrespect to Jed. I love Jed. I've been through this a million times. Maybe Jed doesn't like me, according to social media, but I've just got a very high level of expectancy from Jed because I know he's a fantastic player. And for a long time, he hasn't been a fantastic player. Now he's starting to really turn it on again. I don't think he's got much of a football brain at times. With his distribution, decision-making, sometimes has a lot to be desired. But he is still our best player. He is still our go-to player. And as we said, if he delivered the ball 10 out of 10 every time, he'd be playing in the Premier League. So I think Harris could possibly come in for Cooper and Jed Wallace. I say to my mate John O'Mara, who is no relation to the other O'Maras, who does know his football, but he's too ugly to come on Lions TV. I said to him, this was in our group chat about 3 years ago. I named 4 Millwall players and I said, Shane Ferguson will be playing in League One within 2 years, which I got wrong. Ryan Tunnicliffe will be playing in League One within 2 years, which not far off getting right. Jordan Archer will be playing in the conference within 2 years, which technically at the minute I'm wrong because he can't even get in the conference side. And the other one was Jake Cooper. And I said to my mate John, Jake Cooper will go on to play in the Premier League. And he said to me, you're fucking mad. And I said, I'm not saying he's brilliant. I'm not saying he belongs in the Premier League, but he did remind me of an Alfie Mawson type who played for Swansea. That sort of level of team, maybe a Southampton or a Watford, a lower end Premier League side. I could have seen him taking a chance on Cooper just because he's for going forward as much as defending. So I wouldn't. If Cardiff come in and said, right, we're going to take one of these players, Romeo, Cooper, or Wallace, which one do you want to keep? And a lot of people will definitely disagree with this. I'd keep Cooper. I would keep Cooper out of that. I think we've got ample cover with McCarthy. And as I said, if Jed played in behind the front forward for us, I don't know why he plays on the right. I know he goes everywhere. He's like a bumblebee trying to get out of a window. I know I've said that. He's so energetic. I honestly think Jed could play. If you said, right, we're not playing 90 minutes, we're playing 180 minutes straight, I think Jed could do it. He's so fit. He's so energetic, but it just frustrates me when he's on the right. And I'd be interested to find out what his thoughts on that, where he feels his best position is. Because I know he said previously he'd like to play central. One other thing I'll mention when I was just talking about Jake Cooper, and he hasn't scored a goal this season. And this is another thing I'm going to credit Gary Rowett for that I noticed on Saturday. So Jake Cooper hasn't scored, and it happens. Teams suss you out, they work out, and what they do is they double up on Cooper. That's why Cooper hasn't scored this season, even though he's 6'7". And the club always put out. I love the club put out them little Instagram clips, and it's on the high mo, the slow motion camera. It's on their high mo they get from like pitch level behind the goal. It's a great shot if you're into cameras and shooting things at a decent angle and stuff. And I love them. And they put out obviously Matt Smith's goal, Jed Wallace. Double nutmeg in the geezer, Pratley, but also they put Sean Hutchinson's goal out. Now, if you watch that back on the club's social media, what happens is the cross comes in from Sean Williams, lovely Sean goer, lovely floater. Cooper then jumps, and two defenders jump with him, and as they all start to come down, Hutchinson jumps from behind Cooper and scores. So basically, what Cooper's doing now, I think Gary Rowett said, yes, they're doubling up on you. Now you just got to do a dummy. You got to do a dummy jump. Malcolm Allen used to do it. Remembers Malcolm Allen? Even though I've only been going Millwall a year, well, 3 years, 4 years now. No, as a kid, Malcolm Allen wasn't tall, but he would deliver, and he knew he couldn't win things in the air. So what he would do is he would jump early. So as he was coming down, the ball would be blindsided from the defender, and he would try and just cause upset by that because he knew he couldn't win the headers. And I think now Jake Cooper knows he can't win the headers. We're using him as sort of dummy. They were still doubling up on him. If you watch it, have a look on the Instagram. Two defenders jump with Cooper, and as they're up, that's when Hutchinson delays his jump. Great climb, by the way, by Hutchinson, the skipper. He's the skipper, isn't he? Yeah. Great header, and great to have him back in the side. Again, for the debate on him, Cooper or Pearce, and the hate, well, why'd you say Hutchinson's better? Well, because he is better. Pearce is a great talker and a great leader, but Hutchinson is actually a better player that can score goals as well. So, but again, no need for anger. No need for frustration. No need for abuse. Some people's thumbs, honestly, must have no nails left on them. It's good. It's a good position to be in. 3 very good centre halves of the club, and I'm very happy with that. Whew, fucking, I'm talking to myself here, aren't I? Right, questions. Stickman completely agrees. I know what on. Charlie's a legend. Keep up the good work from my man, KP. Max Morris. Archer left ages ago, mate. I know he did. Max Morris says, KP, you're a legend. Yes, you're right, Max Morris. Someone else wants to pull me up on a Billy Polk. Billy Polk. Does that actually say Billy Polk? It actually does. You know, in Poland, the W is pronounced as a V. Białkowski's name is actually pronounced Białkowski. Cheers, Jeff. Okay, so here's a little bit of constructive criticism, and maybe I'll take this on board. Jack, what you on about? Millie Comley says, post things positively then, Dan, where you go the negative way. Okay, that's constructive criticism. I do see what you're saying there. So you're saying that you're saying that my post come across negative. Maybe it did, but I will take that on board. I understand what you're saying there. My exact words for the post, and I do understand if you put something in text, it can come across sometimes as being, negative, or it can be taken in the wrong context. So my actual post was, is he right? ? Bit controversial, ? Exclamation mark. So I'm not saying it's controversial. I'm saying, is it a bit controversial? Maybe I should have just put, Neil Harris said this today. Do you agree? Maybe you're right there. So thanks for that. Not a problem. Constructive criticism. Block. Fucking hell. Billy Polk's on me again about this Białkowski. I'm going to start calling you Billy Volk. See how you fucking like that, Bill? Richard Clint says, we drew with Cardiff a couple of weeks ago and they are one place above us. It's about here and now, and NH was a bit presumptuous to say that they are at another level. We'll see. I understand where you're coming from. I think that it's seen as not current positions. I think structure-wise, and I do this sometimes as well. I'll go, fuck me, Nottingham Forest, massive club. Sheffield Wednesday, massive club. They're not massive clubs anymore because they haven't won anything. They can't even get back into the Premier League. So I'll go, Derby's a big club, Stoke's a big club. What is a big club now? I would say, actually, when you think about it, a big club is Man City. A big club is Liverpool, a top-end championship side and a mid-table championship side. It's not even really a sleeping giant anymore. So people will go, Sunderland's a big club. He won't be watching this, my mate, but just think it would have made me laugh if he'd seen that. Sunderland are not a big club. They have a big fan base. They have a history. But when you've been out these top leagues for a long time, like Sheffield Wednesday, big club, big ground, big history. I can't even tell you. Does anyone know how long Sheffield Wednesday have been out the Premier League? It's got to be at least 15 years. Not in a Forest. It's got to be at least, it would have been Stan Collymore, Brian Roy and Kevin Campbell when last time Forest were in a thing. Kevin Campbell, by the way, under the Kosh podcast. If you don't watch it, they got a Patreon page, over 1,000 patrons. They're all right. Fuck me, I'll be retiring on that. But anyway, Kevin Campbell, if you don't follow their podcast, Under the Kosh, get on that, man. Honestly, it's fucking, they're all good, but Kevin the Campbell one was Kevin the Campbell? Mr. Jamble was very good. Get on that. But not in the Forest. They're not a big club, are they? I do it. I just go, Birmingham are a big club. Birmingham aren't a big club. What the fuck have Birmingham done? And no, they ain't been in the Prem for years, since like Liam Ridgewell played for them and people like that. I don't know why he popped into my head. He's from up the road, isn't he? But Cardiff, are they a big club? Structurally, they're a bigger club than Millwall. They are a city as well, and one of the only two Welsh clubs in the Football League, obviously. So they do have a big following. I've never understood, by the way, and it must be something to do with politics, why do they let Cardiff and fucking Swansea in the league, but they don't let Rangers and Celtic in? It's madness. I'd love to have Celtic and Rangers in the English league. It'd fucking go off every week, probably, wouldn't it? But I've never understood why Wales are allowed in, Welsh teams, but not the Scottish ones. It must be something to do with politics. I'm not really into politics. Fuck that. But yeah, Cardiff are structurally a bigger club than Mill, really. Yes, current league positions are current league positions, but Neil Harris will go there and he'll be right in assuming that he would manage Millwall and now he's moved on to a bigger and better club. Unfortunately, that is the truth. With money to spend, it'd be very interesting to see how he does there. And obviously, we will follow that on the channel. We shouldn't follow it on the channel because it's Cardiff and he's done a great job for us and now he's left. But human nature, we will all like to talk about. We will like to discuss it. That's why we're sitting here 46 minutes in already. Fucking hell. Yeah, Robert Jack Cole says Luke Steele's until January. Hopefully for me, they'll extend that. Can't say why. Harris will buy him. I don't know who you mean. Danny Kiryuku, the bearded lady. My mate Danny. They've hidden your comment, Dan. I don't know why. You must have sworn it, but I'll show it. What does it say? Oh, bollocks. I clicked on it and it went. Oh, no, it is. Live stream to the rescue when you're bored shitless in a hotel in Leicester. Oh, how's your work course going, mate? All right. Hope it's going all right for you. Bart must be signed at all costs. How many points has he earned us already? Yes, Bart's made some fantastic saves already. The ones he's fucked up is the ones that's really cost us, though, because it's been in games when we've been in front or just got picked back. If we'd like to see him fuck up when we're 3-0 down, because it didn't matter, but no, he's got to be signed. Alan Smith, Matt Smith, our impact sub. Yeah, listen, it's a very difficult one with Smith. Neil Harris signed him because he thought he was his new long-term Steve Morrison replacement. Matt Smith is Matt Stiff, as some people call him. I don't call him that anymore because he's a real hero now. But it's a difficult one with Smith, and you've got to find your niche for these players. He started out as our main man striker. That was the plug. 4-4-2. Did we play first game of the season with him and Bradshaw up front? No. We played Aidan O'Brien and Smith up front, didn't we? For the first few, Bradshaw couldn't get in. Again, bad management from Harris or good management nursing him back in from an injury. But Matt Smith scored the first goal of the season. Then a couple of games he was a bit dodgy. Come on against West Brom. Come off the bench against West Brom. It was one of the best 20 minutes I've ever seen from a player. Completely turned the game around. Absolutely terrorised the West Brom defence. And he was fantastic. But then after that, he's not very mobile, is he? He's not very mobile. He's definitely not going to suit the Gary Rowett style of play. But what we've seen over the last couple of weeks is he is he's Millwall's answer to England's Peter Crouch, and he comes off the bench and he can be effective. And that's what you want substitutes on the bench for. You want substitutes to come on and affect a game. Again, going back to the Harris era and even now under Rowett, the substitutions haven't changed that much. And people might say, mate, it's fucking substitutions. Why are you worried about subs? Because you have substitutions on the bench to impact and affect games. As in, Rowett very superbly did against Charlton last week, as in trying to shut up shop. You don't just have players on the bench for the sake of it. And as I said earlier on Instagram, people ask me about, Mill's up-and-coming players, Billy Mitchell and George Alexander, miles and miles and fucking miles in front of anyone else in the under-23s, and just below them, Junior Tientia. For me, my first 3 names on the bench every week now, if you're Gary Rowett and you rate these players, if it was me and I was Gary Rowett, I obviously do rate these players. My first 3 names on the bench would be reserve keeper Luke Steele, because you've got to have one. Billy Mitchell, George Alexander, and then you can still have Pearce and Smith there. That's 5. Fergie 6, because I'd start Mahoney. And McCarthy. Then you're still covered on the left. You're still covered on the right. You're still covered centre half and up front. And then on top of that, you still got 2 youngsters getting them into the fold. Sorry, I woke up with a zit this morning. I've never had zits in my life. And at 40, you shouldn't be getting big whiteheads on your chin. That's what late nights will do for you. William Hollis says Harris will probably go in for all of our players. Well, I hope fucking comes in for Ryan Leonard, I'll tell you that much. Couldn't give him away. Josh Hobbs says Brentford want Bart. Well, fuck me, really. That's worrying. Where'd you see that? Yeah, see, I can see that as well, because they lost Daniel Bentley, didn't they? Daniel Bentley, a great goalkeeper. He's always been a little bit of a nemesis for us when we've played him. He played for us against us for Southend, and then obviously now he's gone to Bristol City for 4 million. Great keeper. So they could be looking. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, do I not like that, Jeff? Do I not like that? Chazza Richardson says Scott Carson. Scott Carson still wrapped around the lamppost, isn't he, with Richard Keogh and all the fucking other ones. Steve Johnson, Will Harris buy. All right, Steve. How you doing, mate? Will Harris buy Leonard and Elliott? Should we go over old ground? Let's go over old ground. How Neil Harris has made Ryan Leonard our all-time record signing, and Harry signed Tom Elliott full stop, having been a very good striker himself and our all-time top scorer. Beyond belief. Beyond belief. Ryan Leonard and Tom Elliott will both leave on free transfers. If someone signs Ryan Leonard for more than £250,000, which I don't even think he's worth, I'll fold the channel. There you go. He'll go back to Southend on a free, Ryan Leonard, at the end of this. And Big T, I feel sorry for Big T, bless him, because he fucking, at least he tries, but it's just they're just both so far out of their depth. Billy Volk says, aside from being a good keeper, Bartosz Walwowski has the Millwall humour about him. He suits the club. Wish we would have him a long time. Wish we had him a long time ago, mate. You and me fucking both. I think I actually blame Jordan Archer for that. Yeah, let's hope he signs. John Wheeler says, I think you're right, Dan. Some of these people must be thick. Some of their comments are crazy. Read one, Harris is a traitor. Bloody muppet. I think, John, I agree. I try and picture these people, like what they're actually doing right now. They're hammering me for sitting here doing this, but they're actually still sitting watching me do this and then bothering to comment on it. And again, like with Harris is a traitor. I think people say things, and this is what I try and say to people. I try and explain to people. Twitter isn't real, okay? It doesn't exist. It's not real life. That's why people hide behind names like Big Jeff 777. People can be anyone they want behind this cloak. They're wallies, and in real life, they're probably scared to come out their house. So when people say stupid things like the comment Harris is a traitor, I think they deliberately. It must be part of the Twitter thing that I don't get, and the social media thing that I just don't understand. So people hammer me, but I'm sitting here telling you my opinions. I'm not hiding behind a screen giving you my opinions. I've got the front just to sit here and tell you. So who's the wally? That's the question. Maybe still me. But I think with comments like Harris is a muppet, I think people say that because they want a shock. Harris is a traitor. They want a shock. They want a reaction. They thrive. They get a little bit excited over that reaction. They may not necessarily mean that. They just want someone to chew on it when, mate, I've been single 5 years. I don't like arguing. That's why I'm single, because I can't have rows. It's just for us, just annoying. And it's what's the point? We're not here long enough. So I can't understand why people want to get into arguments with people over pointless shit. This is a fan channel. I'll give my opinions on football. It's just weird. It's just silly comments, mate. I don't understand why people do it. B Lion says, we ain't going to spend the money, brov. He didn't say brov. I put brov on the end. And I don't know why I said that in my full-time reaction, because I never say brov in my life, unless it's in jest. Charlie Anderson really wants to know who's going to Swansea. But B Lion says we ain't going to spend the money, and I think he means on Bulkowski. It will be interesting to see how much money we've got to spend. I think originally we offered $1 million for Bart, didn't we? And they turned it down, and now we've had to go back and reassess. Are we still going to pay $1 million for Bart? Is his contract up at Ipswich at the end of the season? I don't know, to be honest. Millie Comley says, yeah, his subs has been positive so far. I'm taking that by that you mean Rowett. Millwall KP. Good old Kenneth Prawn. If our away form was good like our home form, we would be in the playoff places, in my opinion. Mate, you win your own games, you draw your away games, you get promoted. As simple as that. And it's a strange one, this topsy-turvy, fear no one at home, can take on anyone at home, but away, it's not necessarily the case. And under Neil Harris, it was Jekyll and Hyde. It was two completely different teams. Go to Blackburn and shut up shop, which still angers me. Go to Blackburn, don't cross the halfway line, try and grab a point, but then get fucking Preston down to the top of the league, Sheffield Wednesday down to the top of the league, or up there, both of them, and beat them. So why? Because it's on a different piece of grass 200 miles away. We're going to our shells. It was madness. It was actual madness. Especially as the season we did come up, we finished 8th. We feared no one, beat everyone home and away, 17-game unbeaten run. So for me, yes, you're right, Kian. And I am backing Rowett to sort this out. Bring the camera a bit closer. I keep putting it away, but then I can't read the comments. Kyan Willis says, upper Millwall. Upper. UPPA. Up the Millwall, I think he means. Some of the inbox messages, I get them daily. Hundreds. Not hundreds daily. That's a massive exaggeration. I get about one a day. I'm joking. I'll get messages daily. And some of them just crack me up because I think some of them are from mad people. Some of them are from people who, perhaps like older people, like my dad, who don't really know how to use social media. And some bloke just messaged me the other day on Facebook. He might even be funny, but I really found it funny. He put, I am watching Lions TV. So there you go. Thanks for watching Lions TV, mate. I don't know what you wanted, the response you wanted. I just put back thanks. I am watching Lions TV. There you go. That's what he said to me. Just that's all he said. Not hello, not my name is, not this. 6 words. I am watching. It's 5 words. I am watching Lions TV. That is all it said. Thanks, mate. I appreciate your support. Richard Wheatley says, Millwall did win away matches in League One. Yeah, of course we did. It's a different level of football. And we won away games in the Championship. But since we've been back in the Championship, if you remember the first year we was back in the Championship, we went to Nottingham Forest on the opening day on a Friday night, and we could have won 15-1. We actually lost 1-0. And then we couldn't get an away win for Toffee. Our first away win, despite how well we was playing, was at Leeds 4-3. And then that's what kicks off our unbeaten run. That and the legend that is Tim Cahill returning to the club. So, yes. And then last season, what was our first away win last season? It probably took a bit of time again. Does anyone know? Can anyone tell me that without me looking? Our first away win of the season last season. Someone can hit me with that. I'll have to go to the bottom of the comments for that because that'll be latest. Come on, someone hit me. Millwall KP says our first away win of the season last season was against Ipswich. I thought we drew 2-2. Was that the year before when Archer 3-1 in that day? No, you're right, KP. You're right. I was in hospital. Did Jake Cooper score? And we had the orange kit. Yeah, well done, KP. So yeah, that was Christmas. So it took us till Christmas. First season back in the Championship, it took us till January to get our first away win. Last season, it took us till Christmas, as Millwall KP rightly said. I think that could have been Boxing Day or something like that. So, yeah, predominantly, we do struggle to get away results. Away from home, the Britannia Stadium, someone just pulled me up on Stoke's old ground. No, their old ground wasn't called the Britannia Stadium. That's what their ground is now. Bazza TV, Cush Millwall says, I remember Malcolm Allen. I'd love to get Malcolm Allen on for a Lions Lounge. What a player he was. Billy Ledwich says, I don't think we should go for young loan players as when they leave, we are left in a bad situation. I agree with that, mate. I agree with that. Although, listen, they call him Christian. Jason Malumbi is a fantastic prospect. But I don't know if you're referring to that or referring to Gary Rowett. I don't think Gary Rowett will get young loan players in. I think Gary Rowett will get old loan players in, experienced heads. But if you're talking about, so that's that covered. But if you're talking about Malumbi, I just don't understand why you want to develop someone else's player. Not when you've got Billy Mitchell sitting there. And I'm telling you now, Billy Mitchell's a fucking absolute player, and it will get proven. Malumbi's good, but we ain't going to sign him. And it does puzzle me taking in young loan players. I think young loan players should be, unless they're an outstanding talent, and I'm talking like a top Premiership clubs player. Unless they should go to lower league clubs. I don't think we're a club that really should be craving young Brighton players to play for us. You know what I mean? It's no disrespect. Millwall KP says Jed has that something special. That he does, mate. But I think if we had a lot of players that were as good as Jed, then he might not be trying to do everything. He's trying to do everything because I think he knows he's the best player we got as well. He knows he's one of the few that can unlock the doors. Harry Lavelle Baker says, do a collab with Benjamin Bloom. Benjamin Bloom is a friend of mine, and we have plans to do a collab. I've actually, to be fair, last time we did it, I let him down. I said, meet at the ground, get up there early, and he didn't want to do it at the ground because he was worried about audio issues, as a good content producer should be. So well done, Ben, if you are watching, which I don't think you are. He's worried about audio issues. We didn't end up meeting up, but yes, we do want to do a collab. And maybe I'll do a collab with Benjamin Bloom on the Patreon podcast, the Roaring Lion podcast. But Benjamin Bloom, if you don't know, by the way, check out his YouTube channel. He was an Ipswich vlogger, and now I'm going to like to say on my advice, because I've been in touch with Ben for a long time. He's trying to get a little bit of a network going with a few fan channels and to sell views to as a collective to a network. If you're interested, #pay me, give me a shout. He's now doing all Championship content, Ben. And I did start a second channel called The Championship. Then I changed it to Calcio, and I just haven't got the time to do a second channel. It's just this takes up my whole fucking life. So Ben's doing it and doing a very good job of content. Benjamin Bloom, he doesn't look like your average football fan. He's a beautiful man with a long mullet and a beard. But if you get a chance, and some wacky shirts, by the way. But if you get a chance, check out his channel. It's very good content. He does cover. I think he's got a little soft spot for Millwall. I ain't gonna lie. He covers quite a lot of Millwall stuff now. It's good to see. The Hugills, Jed is worth 12 million plus. Wow. No, he isn't. In this current climate, in this day and age, what is Jed now? 26. The problem is Jed's already tested himself at that next level, and he couldn't make the grade, unfortunately. But he was trying to get into a side in Wolverhampton Wanderers that were pressing for big and better things. But and they made it. They're now in Europe in the Premier League. So I think he could go to a top end Championship club. But look how that works out for George Saville. He's currently in the relegation zone and not getting in at Middlesbrough. But yeah, Jed is worth 12+ million. You ain't going to get that for Jed. What is he, 26, Jed? I'd like to think we wouldn't let Jed go for less than 5 million, but our club is predominantly a club that don't mind fucking giving our players away for fuck all. Look at Tim Cahill. Kushmir Wall says, is Jed and Coops out of contract soon? I don't know. Harry Packham, love the impression. Millwall, mate, yeah, come down Millwall, yeah? We were home today, going down the Den. Well, maybe that's just an impression of me. But no, that's how I see it. Collab with Benjamin Bloom, just done that one. See, this is what Lions TV does. Networking brings the fans together. Charlie Richardson and Charles Stoworthy are two of the most different types of Millwall fans you could ever meet. Both lovely blokes, both completely different opposite ends of the spectrum. And Charlie's just realised that Charles, same name boys though, isn't it, I suppose, lives in Amsterdam and is wondering if you could post him some things. I won't go into what them things are, but I can imagine. Billy Volk says, what role do you think Leonard will play when he returns, if he returns? He's not going to get a sniff, mate. He's not going to get a sniff. And I'm not being horrible. He's just fucking never, ever going to get a sniff around now. Rowett is the manager. No one else would have signed Ryan Leonard. If Ryan Leonard hadn't been signed by us, he would currently be sitting rotting in Sheffield United reserves. Chris Wilder bought him and sold him again after 10 games because he could obviously see he'd done a fucking wrong one. Chris Carey says, Grimsby away as a kid. Me, dad tried to sell my mum to a bloke with a glass eye for a bag of sweets. Say no more. Then they nicked the ball. Must have been about 500 there. Okay, I'm going to say this, and people go, you wasn't. I was there the day at Grimsby. I used to go on Coach 1 as a kid. It's the only way I was allowed to go to away games. And I went on Coach 1 with my mate Luke Hammond, whose dad, Les, watches the channel. Shout out to Les and Luke if you're watching. I saw Luke at the game the other day. I haven't seen him for years. He looks like Prince William. He hasn't changed. So we went to Grimsby on the coach, and it was the coldest place I'd ever been. We won. It stunk of fish, obviously, Alexis, on the coast. We won 2-1. Sergei Uran got a penalty, and Alex Ray scored the penalty and scored a volley from outside the area. We may have played in a green and white kit that day. 2-1 we beat Grimsby. 1995, 96, I believe it was. I was there, 14 years old. Zulu's on tour. Hello, mate. You always tune in. Thanks for tuning in, Birmingham fan. Looking forward to seeing you at our place in 2 weeks. Yes. Is that a midweek game or is it an away game? We've had a bit of joy, haven't we? Last couple of seasons at your place. Obviously, we done the business last year. 2-0 Ben Thompson towards the end of last season. Got both of those goals in an outstanding performance. That's when the players were on the pitch at full time. That's when we just started to get clear of the relegation zone. And the season before, Fred Onyedinma scored the winner in a 1-0 win. I went with the O'Maras. That was a good day. That was a good day. So, yeah, Gary Rowett going back to one of his old clubs. You'll be looking to stop our recent decent little run up there, mate. So, yeah, always a good away day, Birmingham. Enjoy that. Your fans and your crowds have tailed off, though, quite badly. I remember going with Birmingham away with Richard Isom. If you're watching, he won't be watching. Stopping at the services on the way home. I think Kenny was there as well. We lost 4-0. Second game of the season away. Lucas Neal played for us then. I think we wore green that day as well. Cool, that was an away day. And they were loud that day, Birmingham. But since then, it's tailed off a bit, their fans. Cush Millwall says, and a couple of people are saying this on the timeline, he'll come in for Tomo. You're saying Neil Harris will come in for Ben Thompson. No, I don't think he will, and I fucking hope he don't. Cool, he'll get some shit, wouldn't he? If he did, Jesus Christ. He's got to be, well, he hasn't got to be careful. He's got to do the best he can as Cardiff manager, and it might come to that. And if he does, he's got to do what he's got to do, isn't he? Someone said Tomo won't leave. What about Sean Hutchinson? Kyan Willis said, what about Sean Hutchinson? Do you think Harris will be interested in buying Sean Hutchinson? No, Sean Hutchinson is what now? 28, 29? Don't think Hutchinson's had quite an injury-hindered career. And he's finally got it sorted after a couple of mishaps at Millwall with injuries again. He's finally, back to his best and settled. So I don't think he'll risk upsetting the apple cart and moving again. Hutchinson, I think you'll probably see it out of Millwall for as long as we want him. Millwall KP would definitely keep Cooper. We are an hour and 10 minutes in. I'm getting hungry. I might have to do another 20. We'll do 90 minutes and then I'll wrap it. If the questions keep coming. Stoke is the Britannia Stadium. Was that their old ground, the Britannia Stadium? Went up there, lost 1-0. Adam Simpson. All right, lard ass. All right, Adam, thanks for watching. Chazza, Wallace's... yeah. Kushmir Wall says Wallace's contract ends June 2020 according to Transfer Market. The thing is with players these days, other than Gregory, you rarely see them go on a free. They sort of got a year with the option of another year and they don't let that, they renegotiate very early into that, don't they? Charlie Anderson says 17 years. Is that since Sheffield Wednesday been in the Prem? That's what I'm saying. Is that someone else saying collab Benjamin Bloom, or is it one of the same question? This is a good question. We Up says, we up, man. Would Rowett rather have held out for the Cardiff job? Well, he turned down Reading, apparently. But I did think about this earlier. I thought, okay, Harris did a great job and he's left. But looking at things now, as a Millwall fan, or as a Cardiff fan, because they're not happy, a lot of them not happy with the appointment of Harris. And again, this I'm not being horrible. Other than Boxing Day, I do hope he proves them wrong. I hope he does a good job out there. Good luck to him. But as a Cardiff fan now, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, could I have Gary Rowett or could I have Neil Harris? I'm sure 90% of fans would want Gary Rowett. As a Millwall fan, I'm glad we've got Rowett. What would you say, boys and girls? If you had the chance to keep Rowett now, get Neil Harris back tomorrow, who would do what? Charlie Richardson hasn't got to bother comment on that. I know your answer. I know your answer. Marcus Wright says, I heard Harris knew of Cardiff's interest in him and left. You hear loads of shit, but who knows? I really don't get why they want him, though. Yeah, I saw that. Alfie Lacey, the old boy who comes on. People go, I'll get the old boy back on. That's Alfie. And Alfie, if you're watching, no, actually, I don't. I know you're not watching because Alfie with the glasses who goes Tunnicliffe. Kieran does a great impression of him. He used to do a lot of interviews after the game. He hasn't been doing them lately, and I'm not sure why. But when I said to him once, Alf, you get really good views. You get best views than anyone. He said, on what? I said, YouTube. He said, what's that? I said, well, this is where these interviews go, mate. He's nearly done what YouTube is. But getting back to Marcus's right question about he heard that Harris had the Cardiff job lined up. Alfie posted something about that on Facebook, said it's been sorted for weeks. And again, I think Alfie just heard a rumour. Marcus has just heard a rumour, and now he's asking me about that rumour. And I'd like to get the disclaimer in early for anyone watching at the club. I didn't start that rumour. But yeah, did he or didn't he? Like you say, mate, you hear things, people talk bollocks. It's gone now, and he's gone. So no, I don't think so. I think Neil Harris decided very quickly he didn't want to be Millwall manager anymore. I think he decided that after the Luton game. Apparently, again, you hear press reports that he was sitting in the dugout for 20 minutes, and after the game, he just sat there like staring into space, and he decided the time was right. And a very good decision from him. One I respect and one I'm pleased with, and I'm sure now he's gone to Cardiff. He'll be looking forward to his next challenge on more money. # pay him or me on Patreon, whatever you like, whichever. So yeah, did he or didn't he? All we can do now is, he's done and dusted. He's gone. Good luck to him. Just not on Boxing Day. Kush Millwall says Bart's contract doesn't run out. I love the way I'm doing a live stream, but I'm not getting you lot to help me some information I don't know. It's a good little bit of teamwork. Bart's contract doesn't run out until June 2021. Oh, really? So, well, in that case, obviously Ipswich wasn't, well, that's stupid for me to say that Ipswich wasn't planning on going down. Of course they wasn't planning on going down. But if Bart's signed until, mind you, it's nearly 220, isn't it? 221. So someone's going to have to pay dough for Bart if they want him, unless Ipswich come back up this season and then he'll just go back to Ipswich. How are they doing in the league, Ipswich? I don't even know. I don't really follow it. I should do. Kush Millwall would rather have Harris back than keep Rowett. B Lion would rather have Harris back than keep Rowett. Spanish Lion would rather have Harris back than keep Rowett. Well, Charlie Richardson saying nothing. He's just done an emoji. Rowett all day. Marcus Wright says Rowett all day. Better manager and more experience at championship level. I've got to be honest, and this may sound harsh on Harris. I agree with Marcus. What I've seen in a very short space of time, I like. But again, it's a results business. And I know Harris's football wasn't the most attractive at times. He got the best out of the players for a very, very long time. It's such a second meal, KP. You are a wealth of knowledge, my friend Kenneth Prawn. That's why I love having you on the channel. God, yeah. John Wheeler says, got to be Rowett. Harris done all he could. I agree. It was like a beautiful story under Neil Harris. It was a beautiful story that, sometimes it says the end, and that's what you got to do. Surely moving forward tactically, it's got to be Rowett. Kieran Perry says, you going Derby away? No, I'm actually not going Derby away. I have to work that night. When I say I have to work, this is what I'm going to tell you. It's another plug. No, it's not even another plug. So my sponsors, one of my sponsors at the Eltham Terrace Club, don't open on Saturday nights. And I said, why don't you open on Saturday? They said, well, we need one day off. And I'm like, this big, beautiful club with a fantastic bar and facilities is not open on a Saturday. Could we make things happen here? Could we do business? #pay me. So I love that. I love the Eltham Terrace Club and I love Under the Cosh to the point it's worrying. If any of you are watching, Brownie might be, but I doubt you are. I'm a proper fanboy on the Under the Cosh boys. I'm actually to the point I think I might be stalking them, but I just love them. They're just fucking brilliant. I love their podcast and they've never done a show in London. And I can get people through the door. So I thought, Ray Parlour, perfect chance for a little Christmas drink with the boys to see them do Ray Parlour, a live podcast in London at the Eltham Terrace Club. It's all my favourite things coming together. The Eltham Terrace Club, Under the Cosh, money, #pay me, Ray Parlour, Christmas drink up. So there is an event on the 14th of December at the Eltham Terrace Club, Under the Cosh live with Ray Parlour, who tells some great stories. I've got Ray a couple of gigs before. He actually opened a Paddy Power for me in Belvedere Village randomly, and I've got him a couple of after dinners round my way. So that's where I'm going to be on the 14th. I've probably got to be there during the day to help set up and stuff. But yeah, so I probably won't be going Derby away, but I've been Derby away last 2 years. So I may give it a miss this year. I'm not sure. But no, I won't be going Derby away as it stands. If you want tickets to the night at the Eltham Terrace Club, I will be there. Unfortunately, it's over 18s only, but it'll be a blinding piss up and a great show because the boys are really good and Ray Parlour's blinding. It's just, I can't wait for it. 14th of December, Under the Cosh tickets are in there. Go to their Instagram page or Twitter. I think it's nearly sold out, so be quick. B Lion says, hang on. DB Plays 19 says, Paul Goldsmith says, row it out. DB Play says, is Romeo right back? I hope that, I don't dig Romeo out. I just really like him. If I don't really like a player, I just don't bother talking about him. Shane Ferguson, you know my thoughts on him. I've got no interest in him being at Millwall. He's okay as a squad player, but he's not the sort of level player that I want to see at our club. And he's not going to succeed in the long term at Millwall. Same with Ryan Leonard. I do mention him sort of negatively, really, to be honest. But Varson, don't really mention him because, again, he's all right, I can deal with him as a squad player, but I've got no real aspirations and hope for him as becoming a Millwall legend. Whereas Jed Wallace and Romeo, I might seem harsh on them because I know that they're very good players. I know how well they can be, how good they can be. So is Romeo right back? I may seem harsh on him at times, but it's because I genuinely care about him as a player. Lovely fella, and I just want him to be the best he can at Millwall. And it frustrates me at times when maybe he wasn't given the best guidance. Under Rowett, I'm hoping Rowett can turn him into a decent wing back. He could be a decent right back, full back, but I think his talents will be wasted. He's very good at coming forward. So, yeah, is he a right back? Who knows, mate? Alex Smithson said Denzel on the Under the Cosh podcast. So Tony Warner's been on the Under the Cosh podcast. It is very good. The best ones, John Beresford, very good on the Under the Cosh. They're all brilliant, but John Beresford, very good. They had Ian Holloway on this week. That wasn't... Holloway's a prick and I can't really stand. That's why maybe I didn't enjoy it so much. But top three was John Beresford on the Under the Posh podcast, very good. Mark Crossley on Under the Posh pod, can't even say it. Mark Crossley, very good. Nicky Weaver, very good, but Kevin Campbell probably top now for me, but I ain't going to keep... Fuck me, so I'll go and work for their YouTube channel. Under the Cosh, I can't keep saying it because I've said that the enthusiasm I have towards their podcast is getting to the point of strange. And I haven't got any pictures of them up in my bedroom yet, but I'll probably get a poster. JJ of Coldblow Lane says, I'm not looking forward to Cardiff away. Seeing Neil Harris in a Cardiff tracksuit makes me feel physically sick. I can understand it. Alex Smithson, yeah, Kevin Campbell part 2. Leon Knight is superb, yeah. It's an Under the Cosh fucking podcast, isn't there, isn't it? Do you think DB Plays says, do you think Rowett should give Sanford and Billy Mitchell a chance? Ryan Sanford is a goalkeeper. Again, going back to what I said earlier, if a Millwall player hasn't made it by 1920, Then get rid of them because they're not going to make it. Sorry, you do get players coming late. Yes, you do. Of course you do. Jamie Vardy's a fantastic example. But under Neil Harris, Ryan Sanford clearly wasn't fancied. Played for England. If you look at his portfolio, played for England under 16s, 17s, 18s, 19s. So he's obviously no joke, but he's just not fancied at Millwall. So no, not for me. Sanford, no. Billy Mitchell, absolutely yes, and I've covered that along with George Alexander. They would be on the bench every week for me. Just because we need to develop these players. We had Ben Thompson. The last wave of talent we had come through. Obviously, Jackett got rid of the academy, and Neil Harris brought it back. The last wave of talent we had come through, right, was Ben Thompson, Fred Onyedinma, and Aidan O'Brien. Before that, the wave of youth that I really remember would have been like Mark Kennedy, fucking Ben Thatcher, Mark Beard. So you do need to bring these players through. The problem you've got in this day and age, players, kids are at academies from 7 years old, and you're getting players getting snapped up at like 13 and 14 and stuff like that. So, as a couple of ours have by Man City. So, yeah, we need to give the youth a chance. That's what the academy's there for. Otherwise, just fuck it off. There's no point having it. Bring these players through to create first team players, so you haven't got to spend your money buying first team players, or even better still, not even better still, but get them in, get a couple of 100 games out of them, sell them onto a bigger club. Tim Cahill, perfect example. Make money on them. Football's a business. # pay them or me, whoever. Ashley Sanford said, yeah, you need to give him a try in the cup, which we did and we was, but we somehow got knocked out of that cup, didn't we? We lost that night to Oxford, who was still in it, by the way. Beat West Ham and then knocked out Sunderland on penalties. Sorry, yeah. Ifill, Reid, yeah, Cahill. I said Cahill, yeah. So Ifill, Reid, Cahill, and then before that, Thatcher. But yeah, look, Ifill, Reid and Cahill was Thatcher, Kennedy and Beard was 94, 95. They sort of come through. Ifill, Reid and Cahill, 2000s and 98, something like that. After that, it's a big fucking jump until Ben Thompson, Aidan O'Brien. I can't think really. I'm staying corrected. I was going to say Joe Dolan and people like that, but that was around the Sadlier time. That was all Danny Hockton. That was all around that time anyway. So I'm thinking, yeah, who knows? Mill KP, AOB is useless as a winger, but as a striker, he scores his goals. I think that is going to be the end of the road now for AOB at Millwall. And no disrespect to Aidan. I think he, not just in my opinion, but for himself, he needs to move on. He needs to move on to further his career. Barry Cohen and Kevin Braniff. I said Kenny Jackett got rid of the academy. Neil Harris brought it back. Lucas Neal. Yeah, Lucas Neal was like, I'm talking eras of players that have come through as a group, as Neil Harris would say. So okay. Lucas Neal was pre-Thatcher and Kennedy and that just. But what I'm saying is like waves of players in 3s and 4s, boom. I'm not talking individuals. I'm talking a good trio, Lucas Neal come over from Australia, of course, come on trial, and that was job done. I'm talking trio, like waves of players that come through, like United do in 3s and 4s. A good trio, a good quartet, a good core of them, not just one individual. I'm talking like boom, 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 3s and 4s. Marvin Williams, Marvin Elliott, Peter Sweeney. Okay, you could argue that sort of, but that's around the 2000s. I'm saying between 2004 and 2000, I suppose, when Aidan O'Brien and all the others come through. Fuck me, what was it? When was that now? 2012, something like that? In between 2004 and 2012, did we have a good core of 3 or 4 players that come through and done well? Because I remember we can't. Paul Goldsmith wants row it out. Charlie Hearn, yeah, I'm talking 3s and 4s. And I'm not being horrible to Charlie Hearn. Good players that played in the first team. Good players that become Millwall first team regulars is what I'm looking for, not just people just naming people that come out of the academy. Right, we are 124 minutes in with 134 people watching. Whew. No. DB Play says, I'm 429 followers away from the swipe up thing on Instagram. I think you'll get 10,000 on Instagram for the swipe up, haven't you? Or is it 7,000? I thought it was 10. My mate, the Cotswolds gent, told me it was 10,000, and he's a social media guru. The two Russians, mate, yes, but it wasn't a product of our youth academy. They was enjoying plenty of products on the Old Kent Road on a Saturday night. So I hear. I was only a child at the time, but hearing back now. Yes, but I'll use that comment to get a plug in. Again, it's not nothing to do with money. Pay me. Buy stuff off me, sign to Patreon. No, it's to do with my Instagram. I'm trying to get our Instagram to 10,000 followers. And the reason is, on Facebook, you can post video links. On Twitter, you can post video links. On Instagram, you can't post video links. But if you go into someone's story and then you can, people go swipe up, you swipe up and it takes you straight to something. You can put links in, but I think it's only when you're at 10,000 Instagram followers. So I'm trying to get our Instagram following up, basically. Long story sideways. We are TV Lions on Instagram. If you can give us a follow, if I can get to 10,000, then I can do the swipe up thing, which means I can share links on Instagram. It just makes it easier for our Instagram followers to watch the videos, because what I do now is I'll post something and say, Fan Cam's up now on Lions TV, link to channel in our bio, which means you've got to go into our main page, which means you've got to click on the link in the bio. If you can just go dink, you'll get on YouTube, which gives us more YouTube views, hopefully. Curtis West, an FA Cup finalist. I don't think you're trying to grasp the concept of what I'm trying to get at. Let's leave it there. So sorry, I'm laughing at Joe O'Mara's comment there. We love Lee Cheat at Lions TV. But if you'd have seen how hammered he was the other day when he turned up at the Elton Terrace Club, he was fucking brilliant. He was so funny. And he's got verbal diarrhea, the man. He'll be first to admit it. But I love having him on the channel because he's a good guy and he does know his stuff. But fuck me, the man can talk. And Joe O'Mara's just said, world record attempt for the world's longest podcast with Lee Cheat. Oh, dear. I've got to edit that bad boy. Jesus Christ. Shane Boylan says, sign up to Patreon, come on you Lions. Thank you, mate. Thanks for the good work. I'm looking forward to the content. More Lions Lounge, Teddy Sheringham, Malcolm Allen, Cahill, Dennis Wise. I say, so at the minute, so Shane Boylan says, like, he'd like to see Teddy Sheringham, Malcolm Allen, Tim Cahill, Dennis Wise, Paul Eiffel, Stephen Reid, or Ben Thatcher on Lions Lounge. And I will be honest with you, I am a little bit of an impasse with Lions Lounges. I've covered everyone I can cover. I had two very big names in the pipeline, which are both supposedly still in the pipeline. One of those names was Teddy Sheringham, and it was supposed to be on, and it's just not happened over the last couple of weeks, and I'm still trying. But these people, Teddy's very politely said he'll do it, but it's actually just pinning him down to a day. He's a busy man, obviously. So I'm a little bit of an impasse. Stephen, so go through that list there. Dennis Wise tried to get in contact with him, weren't having it. Ben Thatcher, I asked his best mate, Swerve. Swerve said he's a lunatic, he won't do it. Malcolm Allen, I don't think I've tried to get in touch with Malcolm Allen, but I will. Tim Cahill, I've tried to get in touch with him, couldn't get in touch with him. Dennis Wise, custard pie. Paul Eiffel, I've spoken to on FaceTime. He lives in New Zealand, which would be difficult, but I spoke to him on FaceTime, him and Denzel the other week. And Stephen Reid, I've asked, and he didn't fancy it, which is fair enough. Especially, these players don't owe me anything. And if they're trying to pursue their career in football, it can be, sometimes not looked upon favourably if they do an interview with a geezer. There's nothing in it for them to do an interview with me. And it could fuck their career up potentially. Not that I do anything negative. Or don't put anything negative out. But yeah, I'm a little bit of an impasse with Lions Lounge. So if anyone can put me in touch with any Millwall players, ex-Millwall players, I would love to do it. I've tried to tap up. I wrote a list out when I first started the channel, about 300 players that I could think of. Casey Keller's one I'd love to do. I'd go to America and do Casey Keller. I'd actually go to the States to do Casey Keller. Steve Morrison, I'd love to do. But again, don't know what he's up to now and if he'd be interested. But Steve Morrison, I'd be very interested in doing. Neil Harris, I'd be very interested in doing. But I know he doesn't like me, so it's not going to happen. But yeah, any ex-players... Derek Posse was over. I tried to tap Derek Posse up. I'm currently talking to Andy Roberts, trying to get him over the line. One I will do, and I will do on a podcast, is Mark Beard. I did Mark Beard, and I didn't do it justice because it was when I first started doing the filming, and I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. I'm self-taught to film, edit, and produce everything. I taught myself. No one ever taught me. little bit of editing. I used to work when I used to do presenting for London Live, and I used to go back to the studio every Saturday with the cameraman and watch him edit, and I sort of picked a couple of editing tips up off him. But yeah, it's Paul Stevenson. I've tried. He's up there somewhere, isn't he? And Tony Witter, I tried. He lives in Sidcup. Apparently, someone did message me on Twitter and said, I know Tony Witter and I can get him for you. I've tried everyone, Jordan Archer. Alan Dunn, I've tried. Alan Dunn, don't really fancy it. I try to get Dunny and David Ford joint to do one. I might try Fordy again, actually. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult to get these players. But if anyone knows any of these players and can put me in touch with any of these players, I will happily go and do a Lions Lounge with them. Dimitri Payet, are you fucking mad, bruv? Right, that is bang on 90 minutes. 90 minutes. That's a whole game's worth of me talking bollocks and you suffering. It's a thank you very much to the 127 people that are still watching. What day is it? It's Monday today. I've got to go in hospital for the day tomorrow. My dad is also, coincidentally, I don't often say personal things on here, my dad's also having a hip replacement tomorrow. So good luck with that, Dad, if you are watching. You're probably asleep by now because it's 10 to 9 at night. You go best at 7. So, yeah, this week I might not be about much. That's why I wanted to get this live stream in. I'm aiming for a checkup tomorrow and a few cameras where, ironically, for a man who loves cameras, they were going to put a camera tomorrow somewhere where I really don't want them to put a camera just for a checkup. And they put me asleep to do that. So you may not see much of me until Thursday now. And, yeah, they might have to go down and give me old dear now because my old man's having his hip replaced. These things get on top of you, don't they, when you get old? But there you go. Jamie Morley. I do Jamie Morley. If anyone knows any players, and I'm not saying I appreciate everyone's help, but don't message me and go, I've heard that so-and-so drinks in the pub here. If someone can come to me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook and say, I know this Millwall player personally, here is his contact details, this ex-Millwall player, and he will do it, then get in touch with me and I'll start trying to get the Lions Lounge rolling again. Bobby Barry could do. He's currently a football agent, but he's such a bad player for me. I don't think I could do it. Harry and Julie Bowden again. Good. Thank you from Northampton. Appreciate your support. Paul Toville. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, there you go. So that is it. That is a wrap. I hope that's brightened up your Monday. I said maybe I'll keep doing these now on a Monday. These live streams. And I'll see you later in the week for a pre-match prediction. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.